Is he? I don't know. So I look at the Eagles, and I said this. They're like the great boxer who's got a great knockout punch but no longer jabs very effectively and has a bad corner. I mean, they don't do anything early. I don't know what to get half to half. Jalen Hurts was off last night. I mean, I'm just watching that game, and I'm like, it's all talent, light on the schemes, kick a field goal, please. I don't know what I get, but I'll tell you this. I love their roster. I love their roster. I think it's the deepest roster between young stars, prime stars, and old stars. What do you make of this team?
Well, they went into the season and coming out of the funk from last season, and it was rough there early, but everybody forgets that they had a lot of injuries to those star positions in those early games, so that they're back to being healthy. I underestimated Saquon Barkley's impact on the team, not just as a runner, but the energy that he brings, the excitement that he brings, almost like a fresh approach after they went through that terrible stretch. He's like a breath of fresh air for them. I love what Vic Fangio's done with the defense, and that was a huge problem last year. That they've improved in the secondary. They've improved across the board defensively, and more importantly, it gives another veteran, former head coach as part of the team. Sirianni doesn't have to worry about the defense at all. This team seems like it's coming together late, as opposed to last year where they had all that success early and then fell apart late. I think they get a little bit more dangerous each week.
Okay, I have to admit, when they moved off Justin Fields, I thought, oh, boy, the players like him, winning record, young, athletic. I am shocked, not only how good Russell Wilson has been, how good he's been late. It's been tremendous on those final couple drives. Are you surprised at his effectiveness?
I am surprised at his effectiveness, although Justin Fields, when he was playing much better football than he played in Chicago. So the expectation was that ideally Russell would come in and play a lot better than he was playing in Denver, which he has. The upside of Russell Wilson and the reason you make the move that you make, even though Justin Fields had success, is he's just such a better passer. There's so much more there offensively with Russell than there is with Justin. And then you also have the component of how well he protects the football. That's something that Russell's done his whole career in terms of his interception percentage. It's only like a point below what Tom Brady was. Tom was 1.9 for his career, and Russell's at 1.8 for his career. So you get that element of it. So you're not going to be generating a ton of turnovers. And with a good defense like Pittsburgh has, that's so important. And then you add the element of he's been to the Super Bowl. He's won the Super Bowl. He has the resume of success that Justin Fields doesn't have. And that's important in a locker room as you're trying to establish a leadership position. And Russell's really overachieved at this point compared to what I thought he'd be initially.
So you had Brady in these big games for years, and you didn't always have the best players. And I said, I'm taking the Chiefs. They don't even have their kicker. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I've watched D-Hop immediately inject life to Mahomes. It feels like, and now Kelsey's had a monster 3-game stretch, D-Hop, and then all the secondary guys now. Even Kareem Hunt. I thought he was washed. So in these big spots, I just feel like I'm going to take Kansas City. There's something about when you're a great team, you don't play great every week, but you have a sense of urgency. Your team's in New England. Everybody in the locker room knows. Bill's chirping, Tom's chirping. Is it a real thing? It does feel like champions play in big spots with more confidence and they rise.
Yeah, it's real, and this team is so different than those early Chiefs teams. And in New England, it was the same thing. We evolved as well, and a little bit differently, where Tom kind of evolved as opposed to Patrick, where he started from. But when you get to that spot where everybody practices differently, everybody studies differently. There's an approach in the locker room and a level of professionalism, and you can bring guys in off the street from other programs, and they fit in, and their level of performance raises up. And there's also the undisputed belief in the guy who's going to get the ball. So it doesn't matter. As long as you've got Patrick Mahomes, you've got a chance. All you've got to do is hold up your end of the bargain. And they've been like a coach's dream in terms of the cliche of finishing a game. I mean, they consistently find ways to finish games, which are always preaching your team. And last week, most people line up for a field goal, and is it going to be made? Is it going to be missed? And for them to find the weakness and then be able to block it, it makes a team like that so hard to beat, because Patrick in the playoffs is obviously been great and will probably be great again.
So I was a fan of Matt Nagy. I said he had Trubisky, made the playoffs twice with Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, and Stafford in his division in their prime. He's 34-30, makes the playoffs twice with Trubisky. He's a bum, right? And then Mike McDaniel's 23-20 with a better quarterback, Tua, and I'm told he's a genius. I don't think either is true. I think Mike's a good coach. I thought Matt Nagy was a pretty good coach. They bum rushed him. And so my takeaway is I don't even know if Chicago they could have had Harbaugh. They could have had Cliff Kingsbury at OC. They didn't get either. I don't trust the organization to make the right coaching hire for a young quarterback. Hasselbeck, Greg Cosell came on my show this week, and they said, it's not everybody else. Some of this is just on Caleb. What do you see?
So we put a lot of pressure on rookie quarterbacks, and the rookie year is hard. And look at what Peyton Manning did his rookie season. It wasn't very good. Tom Brady didn't even play his rookie season, and he was not very good when he practiced. Okay, so there's that component of it. But when you're picked where he's picked, and then he feeds into the expectations with some of the things that he says, and then the organization feeds into expectations with some of the things they say. So when he goes out and has some bad games, everybody is extremely disappointed instead of recognizing the fact that there's a learning curve. And I watched them, and Colin, the injuries on the offensive line, that's been a problem. Been a problem for him in terms of the pressure he gets. It's been a problem for the running game. And there's an element of when he scrambles, the receivers aren't doing a great job of getting open when he scrambles. Now, he's missed some guys, but you watch when Patrick scrambles, the receivers have a good sense of where he's going, and they help him get open, and he makes some plays. There is a little bit of the yips with him. There's some throws that I watched that were wide open. He should have hit, but then he comes back and he makes a really nice throw. I don't think this is a long-term problem. I think this is part of the progression of being a young quarterback, and I would imagine that, if they do make a coaching change, whoever gets them is they've got a chance to, see the upside that he definitely has. I don't think this is an inherent problem.
Okay, you know Jim Harbaugh very, very well. And, the NFL now with social media, you get these clips of Jim mic'd up, and it's just so funny, and he's got such huge energy, and it's authentic. And I said this yesterday. Authenticity matters. Dan Campbell's different and quirky. Players love him. Jim's different and quirky. They love him. But I have had multiple people, players, coaches, always say this about Jim. He's not going to sit in the meeting room for 3 hours. He'll walk in, diagnose something, walk out, and let his coaches coach. But he does have an amazing ability. It's almost Bill Parcells. It's not that he changes a team. He changes it instantly. I mean, Michigan was awful, 5 wins to 10. The Chargers were the worst defense in the league. Now it's the best. It's hard to describe because he's so unique and authentic. You're probably not surprised by this, or are you? How good the defense has become.
No, I'm not surprised by any of it. And in fairness to Jim, he sits in those offensive meetings, those offensive staff meetings. We had some marathon staff meetings. We had some staff meetings that started at 5:30 in the morning. I was in a bunch of those where we were going over detail after detail. And then the other thing that's great about him is you can throw anything on the board. He'll listen to any idea. And it's at the time it was, we're the San Francisco 49ers. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's saying the same thing with the Chargers. But the part about him is when he walks in there, he doesn't care what happened before. He doesn't care about the history. He doesn't care about any of that. He cares about what's going to happen moving forward, and he's going to be out in front leading the charge in terms of how you're going to play. And then there's the added element of you can get jaded in the NFL. You can get tired. It can just be a job. He comes in with that enthusiasm and that it's almost like a young kid who loves the game, which is what we all were at one point, and it's contagious, and it's hard not to want to be part of that, and it affects the offense, it affects the defense, it affects everybody.
Yeah. Eric Mangini, are you on First Things First today with boy? I'm sure Nick will be a riot today with the Bills game coming up. Get ready for that.
Oh my God, it's all Kansas City all the time. I am looking forward to Tyson tonight. I'm with you. I like Tyson. I know people think he's too old, but getting in the ring with that old dude, that takes some bravery.
You could. I mean, he was the baddest man on the planet for a decade. I got no interest.
He was.
Oh, scary. I mean, I covered.
He still looks like one of the baddest men on the planet.
Yeah. You see that little interview he did with that young lady? She was like a high schooler, and I was intimidating. I was terrified for her. He's just such an imposing guy.
She asked about his legacy. He said, I don't care about legacy. That's made up. Yeah, he knows one speed, and it's fast.
Yeah. Eric Mangini, good seeing you. Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.